Money slips through the fingers of the unprepared, leaving them powerless in a world ruled by influence. In this video, we unravel the problem of mastering wealth through Niccolò Machiavelli's timeless philosophy, revealing how to wield money as a weapon to secure power, outsmart rivals, and conquer fortune's chaos. In a world where fortune spins her wheel and men scramble for scraps of power, one voice cuts through the noise: Niccolò Machiavelli, the master of cunning and strategy. I am your guide, a narrator steeped in the shadows of Renaissance intrigue, here to unveil how money in Machiavelli's eyes is not mere coin but the lifeblood of influence. Join me as we dissect his ruthless philosophy on wealth, how to seize it, wield it, and guard it against the envious and the foolish. Prepare to see money not as it seems, but as it truly works. Greetings, you ambitious souls watching from the shadows of your own aspirations. I am your narrator, channeling the sharp mind of Niccolò Machiavelli, that cunning observer of power's brutal dance. Today, we plunge into the heart of his philosophy, where money isn't just coins or paper. It's the very pulse of influence, the lifeblood of control. You might think wealth is for buying fine clothes or a grand house, but Machiavelli scoffs at such small dreams. To him, money is power, and power is the key to bending the world to your will. So lean in, sharpen your minds, and let's unravel why wealth, in the hands of the clever, becomes the ultimate weapon. Picture a prince standing atop a hill, gazing over a restless city. His soldiers are loyal, his allies steadfast, his enemies trembling. What holds this fragile web together? Not love, not honor, but money. Machiavelli, in his cold, clear-eyed wisdom, saw wealth as the foundation of authority. Without it, a prince is no prince at all, just a man shouting orders to deaf ears. Money buys swords, it buys loyalty, it buys the fear that keeps rivals at bay. Think of it like this: every coin in your purse is a soldier in your army, ready to fight for your ambitions. But this isn't about hoarding gold in some dusty vault. No, Machiavelli's wealth is active, alive, a force you wield to shape the chaos of the world. Let's take a step back to Renaissance Florence, where Machiavelli watched men rise and fall like leaves in a storm. The powerful Medici family didn't just have money. They used it to control popes' armies, even the hearts of the people. Their wealth wasn't a stack of florins. It was a tool to secure alliances, fund wars, and dazzle the masses with grand cathedrals. Machiavelli admired this. He wrote in The Prince that a ruler must always be prepared, and preparation demands resources. Without money, your plans crumble, your soldiers desert, your allies turn to sweeter offers. Wealth, in this sense, is the scaffolding of power. It holds up everything else. Now, you might be thinking, I'm no prince. I don't command armies or rule cities. But don't be so quick to dismiss this. Whether you're running a business, climbing a career ladder, or even navigating the tangled web of social influence, Machiavelli's lesson applies. Money gives you options. It's the leverage to make others listen, to open doors that stay locked for the poor. Imagine you're negotiating a deal. The person with the deeper purse doesn't just have cash. They have confidence, the ability to walk away, the means to outlast their opponent. That's power. That's what Machiavelli wants you to grasp. Every dollar you hold is a vote in the game of influence, a chance to tilt the scales in your favor. But here's where it gets interesting. Machiavelli didn't just see wealth as a tool for buying things. He saw it as a way to shape perceptions. A prince with empty coffers but a reputation for riches could still command respect. Because people fear what they believe you can do. In today's world, think of the entrepreneur who projects success, fancy office, sharp suit, bold promises. They might be scraping by, but their image draws investors, clients, opportunities. Wealth, real or perceived, creates a halo of power that others hesitate to challenge. Machiavelli knew this. Power isn't just what you have, it's what others think you have. So how do you harness this? Start by seeing money not as an end, but as a means. Don't chase wealth to stack it in a bank account. That's a trap for the short-sighted. Instead, use it to build your empire, whatever that looks like. Invest in relationships, pay for that coffee meeting with someone who can open doors. Invest in knowledge, spend on learning skills that make you indispensable. Invest in your image project strength, even when you're stretched thin. Machiavelli would tell you to think like a chess player. Every move, every dollar should position you for greater control. Consider this modern example, a startup founder pitching to investors. They don't just show a product, they show a vision backed by enough cash to make it real. That money isn't just for coding or marketing. It's for signaling power, for proving they can outlast competitors. Machiavelli would nod in approval. He'd say, "This is how you rule, by making others believe in your strength." Wealth lets you dictate terms, whether you're a prince in Florence or a hustler in today's cutthroat world. But be warned, power through wealth isn't about reckless spending. Machiavelli despised waste. Every coin must serve a purpose, buying loyalty, crushing rivals, or securing your future. You don't spend to be loved, you spend to be feared or respected. Think of a politician funding a campaign ad, not to win hearts, but to win votes. That's the game, and you, watching this, are in that game whether you like it or not. Your wealth, however small, is your arsenal. Use it to carve out your place, to make others bend to your will. This is the core of Machiavelli's philosophy. Money is power, but only if you know how to wield it. So ask yourself, what's your next move? How will you turn your resources into influence? The world is watching, and fortune waits for no one. Welcome back, you cunning strategists, hungry for the secrets of wealth. I am your narrator, steeped in the sharp-witted spirit of Niccolò Machiavelli, the master of navigating life's treacherous currents. Today, we dive into the art of acquiring wealth not through blind luck or endless toil, but through the razor-edged virtues of cunning, foresight, and adaptability. Machiavelli didn't believe in waiting for fortune to drop gold at your feet. No, he taught that wealth is seized by those who outthink, outmaneuver, and outlast their rivals. So, sharpen your senses, lean in, and let's uncover how to amass riches in a world where only the clever thrive. Imagine a bustling marketplace in Renaissance Florence, where merchants haggle, nobles scheme, and rogues lurk in the shadows. Machiavelli walked these streets, watching men rise to riches not by chance, but by mastering the game of opportunity. To him, acquiring wealth was a battlefield, and the weapons were your wits. Cunning, he argued, is the spark that turns possibilities into profits. It's about seeing what others miss, a rival's weakness, a market's gap, a moment of chaos ripe for exploitation. You don't wait for the perfect deal, you create it. Think of a modern-day investor spotting a startup before it booms, or a trader buying low during a panic. That's the Machiavellian way, striking when others hesitate. But cunning alone isn't enough. Foresight is your compass in the fog of fortune. Machiavelli wrote in The Prince that a wise ruler prepares for storms before they arrive. and so must you. Wealth doesn't come to those who react, it rewards those who anticipate. Picture yourself as an entrepreneur today. You don't just follow trends, you study them, predict them, get ahead of them. Maybe it's researching a new technology before it hits the mainstream, or networking with the right people before you need their favors. Foresight means knowing your industry, your rivals, even your own weaknesses. It's asking, what will the world want tomorrow? And positioning yourself to deliver it. Machiavelli saw this in the Medici, who built their fortune by banking on Europe's future, lending to kings and popes before others saw the potential. Adaptability, the third pillar, is where most falter. Fortune, Machiavelli warned, is a river. Sometimes calm, sometimes a torrent. The rigid drown, the adaptable swim. Wealth demands flexibility, a willingness to pivot when plans fail or new paths open. Think of a merchant in Machiavelli's time, trading wool until war disrupts supply, then swiftly shifting to spices. Today, it's the business owner who pivots from brick and mortar to online sales during a crisis, or the investor who swaps stocks for crypto when the market shifts. Adaptability isn't just reacting, it's staying nimble, ready to abandon a sinking ship or leap onto a rising one. Machiavelli admired men like Cesare Borgia, who turned setbacks into opportunities, using every twist of fate to his advantage. Now, let's get practical. How do you apply this in your life? Start with cunning. Observe your world like a hawk. Who's thriving? Who's failing? What's the gap between them? Maybe you're in a job where a new skill could make you indispensable. Learn it before anyone else. Or perhaps you spot a side hustle others overlook, like reselling niche products online. Cunning means finding the angle others miss. Next, foresight. Don't just live in the present, study patterns. Read about your industry, track economic shifts, talk to people smarter than you. If you're a freelancer, anticipate what clients will need next season and pitch it first. If you're investing, research markets others ignore. Knowledge is your edge. Adaptability comes last, but is no less vital. Life will throw curveballs, new competitors, economic downturns, personal setbacks. Embrace them. If your business model fails, tweak it. If a job market dries up, learn a new trade. Machiavelli would tell you to be like water, flowing around obstacles rather than fighting them. Look at tech giants today. They didn't just invent one product. They evolved, acquiring new ventures, adapting to user demands. You can do the same on your scale. Lost a client, find two more. Market crashed, shift to a safer asset. The adaptable don't just survive, they conquer. This is where Machiavelli's genius shines. Wealth isn't about brute force or endless grinding. It's about thinking 3 steps ahead, spotting the crack in your rival's armor, and bending with the winds of change. You're not just earning money, you're building a fortress of influence, brick by brick. So, whether you're hustling in a corporate office, launching a startup, or trading in a volatile market, channel these virtues. Be cunning enough to see the opportunity, foresighted enough to plan for it, and adaptable enough to seize it when the moment strikes. The world is a chessboard, and wealth is your prize play to win. Welcome, you shrewd navigators of ambition, ready to wield wealth like a blade in the hands of a master. I am your narrator, infused with the piercing insight of Niccolò Machiavelli, the strategist who saw money not as a treasure to hoard, but as a tool to carve out power. Today, we dive into the heart of his philosophy on pragmatic spending, how to use your wealth with cold precision to secure loyalty, forge alliances, and project strength. Forget lavish indulgences or reckless generosity. Machiavelli's way is calculated, deliberate, every coin spent a step toward dominance. So, draw closer, open your minds, and let's master the art of spending money to command the world. In Machiavelli's world, money is only as valuable as the outcomes it buys. Picture a prince in Renaissance Italy, surrounded by scheming nobles and restless subjects. His gold could buy fine silks or grand feasts, but Machiavelli would scoff at such waste. To him, spending must serve a purpose, securing your position, out-maneuvering rivals, or bending others to your will. A coin spent on fleeting pleasures is a coin lost. A coin spent on loyalty or fear is an investment in power. This is the essence of pragmatic spending. Every dollar must work for you, like a soldier in your army, advancing your cause with relentless focus. Let's step into Machiavelli's mind. In The Prince, he tells us that a ruler's strength lies in his ability to control perceptions and ensure loyalty. Money is the key. Imagine a prince facing a wavering ally. Does he shower them with gifts to win their heart? No, he offers just enough to keep them bound, a calculated payment that ensures their allegiance without draining his coffers. Think of Cesare Borgia, a figure Machiavelli admired. Borgia used his wealth to fund armies, bribe key supporters, and stage displays of strength, all while keeping his treasury intact. His spending wasn't about love, it was about control. Every florin was a chess move, positioning him to outlast his enemies. Now, bring this to your world. You don't need a crown to think like a prince. Whether you're running a business, climbing a career ladder, or building a personal empire, your money must be spent with purpose. Let's say you're an entrepreneur. Instead of splurging on a flashy office to impress clients, invest in a skilled team member who'll drive results. Or maybe you're a professional, spend on a course that sharpens your expertise, making you indispensable. The principle is the same. Don't spend to feel good. Spend to gain an edge. Every dollar should buy you influence, opportunity, or security. Machiavelli also knew the power of appearances. A well-timed display of wealth can shift how others see you. Imagine hosting a modest but strategic dinner for key contacts. Not to flaunt, but to signal confidence and build alliances. In today's world, this might mean funding a polished website for your business or sponsoring a local event to boost your reputation. These aren't expenses. They're investments in perception. Machiavelli would approve of a startup founder who spends on a sleek pitch deck to win investors, not because it's pretty, but because it projects strength. The crowd judges with their eyes, he wrote, so spend to shape what they see. But here's the trap to avoid: reckless generosity. Machiavelli warned against it. Give too much and people expect more. Give carelessly and you weaken yourself. Picture a manager who hands out bonuses to be liked soon. The team demands raises while delivering less. Instead, be strategic. Reward those who advance your goals, not those who merely flatter you. If you're investing in a partnership, fund the one who'll deliver results, not the one who promises loyalty but lacks substance. Pragmatic spending means saying no as often as yes, preserving your resources for what truly matters. Think of your money as a limited army. Every soldier, every dollar must be deployed where it counts most. In a modern context, this could mean cutting a failing project to fund a promising one, or skipping a luxury purchase to invest in a side hustle. Machiavelli's genius was in seeing money as a means, not an end. A prince doesn't spend to be loved. He spends to be feared, respected, or obeyed. You, too, must weigh every expense against its return. Will this purchase open doors? Will it secure loyalty? Will it make others hesitate to challenge you? If not, hold your coin. This is the heart of pragmatic spending: discipline, strategy, impact. Whether you're building a business, climbing the ranks, or simply securing your future, let Machiavelli guide you. Spend not for applause, but for advantage. Choose your moves with the precision of a master strategist, and watch your wealth become a force that shapes the world around you. Greetings, you cunning architects of influence, eager to master the game of power. I am your narrator, cloaked in the sharp intellect of Niccolò Machiavelli, the strategist who saw through the veil of human folly. Today, we unravel a cornerstone of his philosophy: perception over reality. In the ruthless arena of wealth and power, Machiavelli knew that how you are seen matters more than what you truly possess. Money, in his eyes, is not just coin. It's a mirage you craft to command respect, instill fear, and outwit rivals. So, gather close, sharpen your wits, and let's explore how to wield the illusion of wealth to bend the world to your will. Step into the streets of Renaissance Florence, where Machiavelli watched princes and merchants play a high-stakes game of appearances. A ruler with empty coffers could still hold sway if the world believed his vaults overflowed. Why? Because people judge with their eyes, not their reason. In The Prince, Machiavelli wrote that men are swayed by what they see and hear, not by truth. A prince who appears wealthy, generous, and powerful commands loyalty and fear, even if his treasury is bare. This is the heart of his philosophy. Perception is power. Wealth, real or imagined, shapes how others act toward you, and that's where the true game is played. Let's paint a picture. Imagine a prince hosting a lavish banquet, his halls draped in silk, his tables groaning with food. The guests whisper of his riches, their loyalty cemented not by his actual wealth, but by the spectacle. Machiavelli saw this in men like Lorenzo de' Medici, who used grand displays to dazzle Florence while carefully guarding their true resources. The crowd didn't need to see his ledger. They saw his splendor and bowed. Now, bring this to today. Think of a startup founder pitching to investors. A polished suit, a confident smile, a sleek office. These signal wealth and success, even if the bank account is thin. The illusion draws trust, opens wallets, and shifts the balance of power. This isn't about lying, it's about strategy. Machiavelli didn't advocate deceit for its own sake, but for survival. Perception is a tool to shape outcomes. Consider a modern influencer on social media. They post photos of luxury designer bags, exotic trips, projecting a life of wealth. Followers flock, brands pay, opportunities grow. Are they always rich? Not necessarily, but the image they craft becomes their power. Machiavelli would nod in approval, for he knew that appearing strong often matters more than being strong. A rival hesitates to challenge a man who seems untouchable. A partner aligns with someone who radiates success. So, how do you wield this in your life? Start by curating your image with precision. If you're a professional, invest in small, visible signals of success. A sharp LinkedIn profile, a tailored outfit for key meetings. These don't require vast wealth, but they project it. If you're an entrepreneur, spend on a professional website or a standout business card before splurging on back-end systems. Why? Because clients judge what they see first. Machiavelli would tell you to prioritize the visible over the hidden, for the world is shallow and easily swayed. A well-placed dollar on perception outshines 100 spent in secret. But here's the catch: perception must be guarded. Envy and suspicion lurk in every corner. Machiavelli warned that a prince who flaunts too much risks exposing the cracks in his facade. If you overplay your hand, boasting of riches you don't have, you invite scrutiny. The key is balance. Project enough wealth to command respect, but shroud your true resources in mystery. Think of a poker player who bets confidently, letting others assume a strong hand without revealing their cards. In today's world, this might mean hinting at big deals on social media without oversharing or hosting a strategic event to impress key contacts without bankrupting yourself. Let's get practical. Say you're negotiating a deal. Arrive prepared, polished, exuding confidence. Even if you're stretched thin, your counterpart will think twice before pushing too hard. Or imagine you're job hunting. A well-crafted portfolio or a single high-quality suit can make you seem like the candidate who has it all together. These are investments in perception, not extravagance. Machiavelli's genius was in knowing that people are lazy. They trust appearances over digging for truth. Use this to your advantage. This philosophy isn't just for the elite. Whether you're a student, a freelancer, or a CEO, you can shape how the world sees you. Spend strategically on what's visible: your reputation, your presence, your network. Let others whisper of your success, even if you're still building it. In Machiavelli's world, the man who controls perception controls the game. So, craft your image with care, wield it with cunning, and watch how the illusion of wealth becomes your greatest weapon. Welcome, you bold seekers of dominion, ready to carve your path through the chaos of ambition. I am your narrator, channeling the unrelenting spirit of Niccolò Machiavelli, the strategist who saw the world as a battlefield where only the decisive thrive. Today, we delve into the final pillar of his philosophy on wealth: ruthless prioritization. To Machiavelli, securing and growing wealth demands unflinching focus, a willingness to make hard choices without the weight of sentiment or morality. Money is power, but only if you wield it with cold precision, cutting away what weakens you and seizing what strengthens you. So, step into the arena, steel your resolve, and let's master the art of prioritizing self-interest to build an empire. In the turbulent world of Renaissance Italy, Machiavelli watched men rise and fall by their choices. A prince who hesitated, who let loyalty or pity cloud his judgment, lost everything. Wealth, Machiavelli knew, is not won by kindness or indecision. It's forged through calculated sacrifice. In The Prince and His Discourses, he argued that necessity trumps virtue. If a friend's failure enriches you, let them fall. If a deal demands deceit, embrace it. To grow your wealth, you must prioritize your own survival and success above all else. This isn't cruelty, it's clarity. Every decision, every dollar must serve your ascent, or it's a step toward ruin. Picture a Florentine merchant in Machiavelli's time, facing a choice. Honor a costly promise to a struggling partner, or cut ties to invest in a rival's venture. The ruthless choice, abandoning the partner, secures his fortune. Sentiment would have bankrupted him. Now, bring this to today. Imagine you're running a small business. A long-time employee underperforms, draining resources. Do you keep them out of loyalty or replace them with someone who drives growth? Machiavelli would urge you to choose the latter. Wealth demands tough calls, firing the weak, dropping unprofitable projects, or walking away from deals that don't serve you. Prioritization means saying no to good intentions and yes to your own gain. This mindset is universal, whether you're a CEO or a freelancer scraping by. Think of a startup founder with limited funds. They can't afford to back every idea or please every customer. Instead, they focus on the product that's gaining traction, even if it means shelving a passion project. Or consider an investor in a volatile market. They don't cling to losing stocks out of hope. They cut losses and redirect capital to winners. Machiavelli admired this kind of discipline. He saw it in figures like Caesar Borgia, who betrayed allies when they became liabilities, ensuring his own rise. To him, loyalty to yourself outweighs loyalty to others when wealth is at stake. But ruthless prioritization isn't about being heartless. It's about being strategic. Every choice you make with your money is a bet on your future. Spend on what moves you forward, not on what holds you back. Let's say you're a professional aiming for a promotion. Do you spend your evenings networking with influential colleagues or helping a friend with their side project? Machiavelli would tell you to choose the network. It's not betrayal, it's focus. Or imagine you're a student with a tight budget. Do you buy the latest gadget to keep up with peers or invest in a course that boosts your skills? The ruthless choice is the one that builds your future, not your popularity. This approach requires courage because the world loves to judge. People will call you selfish, cold, or unethical. Machiavelli would shrug. The crowd, he wrote, respects results, not excuses. In today's world, think of the entrepreneur who cuts a failing product line despite protests from their team. The team grumbles, but the business survives, or the freelancer who raises rates, losing a low-paying client to gain time for better ones. These are Machiavellian moves prioritizing long-term gain over short-term comfort. Wealth grows when you're willing to let go of what doesn't serve you, even if it stings. Let's get practical. Look at your life, your budget, your time, your energy. What's draining you? A subscription you don't use, a partnership that's gone stale, a habit of saying yes to favors that cost you. Cut them. Redirect those resources to what fuels your goals. If you're building a side hustle, skip the expensive logo and invest in marketing that brings clients. If you're climbing a career ladder, say no to distractions and yes to mentors who can lift you up. Machiavelli's lesson is clear. Wealth demands sacrifice. You can't have it all, but you can have what matters most. This is the core of ruthless prioritization. Focus on what builds your power and let everything else fall away. In a world of endless demands, you must be the one who decides where your money, time, and effort go. Choose with the clarity of a prince, the discipline of a strategist, and the nerve to put yourself first. That's how wealth is secured, grown, and wielded. And so, you ambitious souls, we draw the curtain on Machiavelli's timeless wisdom, his piercing vision of wealth as the currency of power. I, your narrator, have walked you through the shadows of his philosophy, revealing money not as mere coin, but as a force to command empires, whether in Renaissance Florence or your own modern battles. From seeing wealth as the root of influence, to seizing it with cunning and foresight, to spending it with calculated precision, crafting perceptions that dazzle, prioritizing ruthlessly, and guarding against the venom of envy, each lesson is a weapon in your arsenal. Machiavelli's world was one of relentless strategy, and yours is no different. You've learned to wield money not for fleeting pleasures but to shape destinies, to outmaneuver rivals, and to bend fortune to your will. Take these truths, you who dare to rise, and apply them with the nerve of a prince. Let your wealth be your shield, your sword, your legacy. Subscribe to arm yourself with more of history's sharpest insights. Share this wisdom with those bold enough to wield it, and step into the arena where power awaits the cunning.